Can you hear me now? Have I been talking to myself this whole entire time? Can you actually hear me, or am I having a stroke? I am. I'm not muted, am I? Yeah. Let me see. Can you hear me? Oh my god. I am. Oh my god. What the hell? Oh my god. This is not my freaking morning. I've been talking to myself for a whole 3 minutes. You are kidding me. All right. It's not my morning. Okay. Oh my god. I can't believe you guys are still here in the chat. So if you didn't hear that last 3 minutes, I'm an idiot. Okay, so let me go through this scenario. So you can probably see what I was looking for my trades, and I was just basically explaining that you can undo your trades by buying the players you had before. I have had pre-workout, yeah, and I'll go through these comments quickly, and I'll look through the Clayton Oliver scenario. I can't believe I've just been talking for 3.5, 4 minutes of nothing. No mic, what the hell? So because I didn't add my face to stage, nothing came up. Can't hear you or Cam. Brad's about to hit. I've already hit the double massage workout. Muted, James. God, this is absolutely awful. Okay, now let me go through the bloody scenarios for Clarry. I didn't realise that if you don't add to stage, you can't hear me at all. Anyway, my apologies. I wasn't trying to give you a silent treatment and whatever. So basically, far out. What I was saying with Clayton Oliver, depending on the money. So let's say scenario you don't want to trade him in 2 shots and you just want to do 1 shot. Where would I go? I feel like an absolute idiot. I'm going to leave this stream online, and if people think that they've had a stroke, I think I've had one actually. There's really not much to go to. Like if you're doing it in 1 trade, you're probably only going to a Chad Warner type. We're going to move to the lounge room in a second because I'm losing my mind here. Chad Warner's the only one I do in 1 move. It really depends on your cash. Again, I don't know what the hell is happening with this freaking filter. Stuff the filter. Go price point, do it manually. This is ridiculous. I don't know if it's Supercoach or if it's just because I woke up about an hour ago, but Oliver doesn't give you anything unless you do it in 2 trays. I mean, people probably got better cash in the bank. Jack Steele's an interesting one. You wouldn't do it, though. He's been looking off. He's got some sort of knee issue. Around the mark, Cripps. I'm not sure I'd go a Cripps type if you really were desperate, but his break even's 103. I probably wouldn't do a Cripper. Most of us are heavy for the round 12 bye. LDU might have been a play last night. He scored a 103, but it's not the worst shout in the world for Cripps. We know what he can do, especially last season. Then there's players. Jack Steele's not it. Laird, I've considered Laird. See, LDU would have been all right, but you just got to know you're getting what you pay for. I can't believe I've been talking for 4 minutes in that intro. What a double stuff up. I feel like I've double donut this morning. So Rory Laird's one I've looked at. He got subbed out this game, I'm pretty sure. But it's sort of more of like you're going to push this kind of guy to your D6, and then he's going to be D7/M9. So he wouldn't be the worst shout because of the fixture. He's playing down back, hence why he's got the DPP. So I don't think his CBAs will increase for a player like him of his age. But Brodie Smith coming back from the side makes that one interesting. So I've looked at a Laird type. Flanders got a high break even, so probably wouldn't do that yet. Although Cheese was saying he scored 82 points in 3 quarters. Shy Bolton, too risky. Chad Warner. If he wasn't playing GWS this week, I'd do it because last time Bedford went to Warner. But he's got a lot of good matchups for inside midfielders after this. So Warner 1 shot to Clarry is not the worst yet. You're just going to have to wear this annoying score, whatever it may be, against Bedford. But after that, he's probably got the best fixture for inside mids that I like at the price point. He's got Essendon, Carlton, Melbourne, Adelaide, Richmond. I think it's actually pretty good. His CBAs have increased the last 2 weeks. Port Adelaide game I'm not really concerned on because Port Adelaide and Collingwood, they're in the red, I think, for inside midfielders. They're very tough matchups for mids. So I'm not too worried about Warner's potential. It's more just a Bedford tag this week. But then you're looking at the other options around the mark. I would have to do into 2 trades, let's say. I think you guys saw my Twitter post. Again, apologies for what the hell happened with that video. I don't know why it didn't come out. I'll try to re-upload it if you guys get a chance to watch it, may as well. But I think I've lost my mind. So with this play, I think Hendo's the guy that you could get rid of because of to reboost your cash gen, but also allows you to play with a little bit more money. If you're trying to get rid of Deadwood and upgrade Clarry and you don't want to do it with one move because you don't have enough cash, you can always do it in two. My cat, I'm going to let her out before she makes me lose my mind. God damn it. Just trying to do a video and my cat wouldn't shut up. So anyway, 515k. The other option is that's disgusting. Oh, you guys are going to think I'm wild for this, but Jordan Dawson. Now, I don't love Jordan Dawson as a pick, but I also understand why people on Twitter and stuff have messaged me about him. His kicking efficiency has been awful. Like it is so bad. It's not even funny. There's nothing in that price point other than Matt Kennedy that I would have been tempted on in the forward one. Petrarca we'll have a look at in a second. He's the obvious one that I'm probably overthinking at this point. Dawson, the issue with him is it means he'd be your M8 for the rest of the season. If you don't got a Bailey Dale, you could probably do it because you can probably afford to have one roller coaster player with our flex position. Hear me out for Dawson. So I don't really care about the CBAs. Potentially, I'd rather him be a halfback player than a CBA kind of guy. So historically, he's never really played well against Fremantle. Geelong, that was just a shocking game. Everything he did was awful. You look at his scores in contrast, they're actually not too bad. There's more ceiling games here than what Petrarca has. The issue is Petrarca's probably a top 6 forward, whereas Dawson's nowhere near top 10, top 15 midfielder. The only thing that's viable for Dawson is the fact that he's got 3 out of the 4 at Adelaide Oval. He's got Carlton. He loves a showdown against Port Adelaide. Collingwood, I don't love that matchup. Sydney, Swans, I don't think Jordan's big enough to tag a Dawson, to be honest. And then if you have a look at last season, Dawson owners probably think I'm crazy, like cheese and stuff right now for mentioning him at all. There is a world where he actually does okay, though, because we look at last season, he went 82, 96, 68, 99, 64. After round 5 went huge. Like, he just went nuts. Then he had a down patch again around after his bye. So he's a play you could do. I've also looked at Hayden Young. I know that's a bit of a weird play. He's a little bit more expensive. Hayden Young is a little bit tempting if I went box shell instead of Hurstwaite, but I don't really want to go super early in box shell because he's probably sub tonight, you'd think. And then the overthinking pick that I think is probably the best one, but the inside midfield matchups that he has after West Coast isn't the greatest for Petrarca, but again, he'll probably be top 6. So if I could afford a Horn Francis right now, I probably would do that over Petrarca. I'd probably rate Rankin as well better than Petrarca, especially now he looks injury-free. But I don't love the Hawthorn and Brisbane matchups. I know Brisbane still weak points, but these are what worry me. Imagine if he gets Bedford tag and then he gets sorry, not a Bedford tag, my goodness, a Jordan tag, and then he gets a Windy tag. So I'm not 100% sold on Petrarca for round 11 and round 12. This could be a back-to-back tag. Let me get to the comments and see what you guys think. I actually think Neil's probably a play this week as well. I think Neil's a really good shout. Oh, yeah, no, sorry about that. I'm glad we're back in the comments. I'm surprised there's still a few people here, honestly, after me talking to myself for 3.5 minutes of nothing. I don't know what the hell happened. I wonder if my mic was on mute before. Anyway, whatever. You're still here. So Dawson's an interesting one. You just got to ride that wave, though, with Dawson. He's got a lot of Adelaide Oval games at late. Okay, let's look at Crazy Frog's suggestion for Rivers. I don't really like Rivers for the price point, if I'm being honest, mate. We'll have a look at these weirder. No, I shouldn't say weirder because it sounds a bit disrespectful, but these more sort of left fielder picks. Oh, I don't know. I just feel like I'd rather pay the 70k more and know what I'm getting for with a Dawson type or a Cribs type or a Laird type than a Rivers throw at the stumps. It depends on your price point. Like if you've really got no money, I don't know. I would be interested to know how much Peter Wright scored last night. I know he's cheap, Rivers as well, but I don't know. Cozy Frog, that's a huge shout. I know Fraser's probably attempting one as well at 396.2 or something like that. You just don't want him for these other scores. Like, unless you're going to push him to your D7 or M9, I probably wouldn't go there myself. I know you pick a lot of pods. I've seen some of your trades on Twitter and they're crazy good. But yeah, for me, the 37 and the 49 are hugely concerning considering he played the amount of game time that he did. Like, his points per minute aren't great. The last 2 weeks, they're pretty good. But other than that, they're not fantastic. So I don't love the Rivers selection. LDU, again, he was probably the one we could have went last night. You probably still could, but you're not going to hold Clarry this week just to do that move. Like, he's bargain price, obviously. I still feel like Rankin's probably the pick of the bunch if you don't got Rankin. Like, he's by far the better player and the better buy than all these other options that I'm talking about. LDU's break even was 104, so he didn't even hit his break even. So next week, if you were not desperate, but if you needed an upgrade option, you could go there. So he scored 101. So he's only got 2 bad scores, really, of a 63 and a 72. So he's been consistent, but not amazing. But you can't have all these cheap players because at some point it will punish you when you're fully upgraded and you've got so much value. Where does that finish you for your ranking? So yeah, not a fan of bringing in another round 12 buy player. There's not a lot to work with. The other option was, and I was trying to explain in my video before, is if you didn't want to move on Deadwood and you wanted to upgrade a Henderson to a mid-season buy player, instead you probably could. So the other option is, my God, if my internet was any slower, I'd probably just go nuts. That's fantastic. So it's actually an option where you can go Clarry and Ashcroft. If Ashcroft is named as a sub, I'll be so annoyed if I hold. And then you can do whatever you want with that money. So it really depends what you want to do. Like, I don't really see a world where I want to pay that much for a Butters or a Bonds. I think I am having a stroke. The round 12 buy again, I've already got 5 or 6 primos, hence why I flagged I could move the Conning to Marshall. Dacos, I'm sick of anti-potting this bloke. He's in 53% of sides. I think Geelong are a little bit restrictive. He's the guy I could bring in because I'll be priced out of him. So I know there's people like myself that don't want to anti-pod him much longer. So I could go Petrarca this week because he plays West Coast. And there's a huge chance Petrarca outscores Dacos this week. But issue is, again, if Dacos hits a 127 here, he's predicted to go 20k. I don't really want to pay 660 for any midfielder. 640 is almost the cutoff. Even that's pushing it. Issue with Dacos too, anti-podding a bloke like that for his fixture coming up is ridiculous. Like, stupid anti-pod. I know I didn't expect that with his foot though. Like, a plantar fascia is a big deal. But after Geelong, like, he's got Fremantle, Adelaide, North, and Hawthorn and Melbourne. Like, and after that, it just gets better anyway. Like, after St Kilda, he probably can't be tagged anyway. At this point, we saw what Jordan did, and he scored a 130 against him. He's got West Coast Carlton after his bye, then he's got Richmond shortly after that. And then Melbourne for your grand final matchup. I hate anti-potting him. I really do. I could go there this week, but again, you drain so much money for your next couple upgrades. It also depends how healthy your benches are, like, and your cash in. Like, I've still got bias to cash out, unless I keep him D6, D7, which I do love. He's the last player I want to cash out. I actually didn't love the bias, I reckon. Carroll, Trainer, Lindsay, He's Deadwood. Long still. Then I've got Hewitt and Clarry, and Flynn and Marek as well. So I've got about 10 players I can muck around with. So you could do that. I don't think he's the buy of the week, Dacos, again, because you're kind of hoping that Atkins or maybe O'Connor tags him. Sinclair, you probably wait a week. Like his break even's quite high. Also, we're not sure about that half forward role, midfield role that we're hearing as rumours. But I hate rumours because rumours are normally a load of crap, to be honest. Like it worries you out of things that you shouldn't be worried out of. But if he hits a 110, he's gone down another 25k, so it makes him 545k. And then after that, what would that make him? And it's probably doable 110 against Freo, honestly, especially under the Marvel roof. What's he going to drop down to? So his break even will still be quite high anyway. So you can probably wait this week or next week, but you probably want him for that West Coast matchup anyway. So here's a guy you could go to, or there's Neil, and this was what I was trying to explain in my video. Dunkley's CBAs have gone down a little bit, so that's a little bit concerning. Sarong I've thought about, but he has St Kilda and then he has Bedford tag 2 weeks after that. Dunkley's break-even's quite high as well still. Again, just been pushed onto a little bit of a wing, a weird role at the moment for Dunks, and his break-even's high enough that you can take another look. A 129 break even. This guy was 600 and something thousand at the start of the year. You can probably wait a week for that one just to see what he's thrown around as well. And then there's Neil, which I haven't actually talked about yet. Oh, my cat is doing my head in. Newcomb's annoying too, because Newcomb, you would expect a bigger game from Newcomb against West Coast. That worries me for Newcomb. Like, you paid money for his fixture, and the one team you thought he'd go nuts against was West Coast and Richmond, and he only just turned up because of that late goal in the last quarter. Neil, bit of a vanilla pick if you ask me, just because of one in every 4 sides have him. So he's a bit of a whatever pick. Jordan tag, and maybe a Cats tag potentially again. And then he's got Bedford. So he's got Bedford and O'Connor and Atkins here back-to-back, but his fixture before that is great. And then for your finals, though, he plays Sydney, and we already saw what Jordan did to him. So his break-even is probably the lowest out of your primos, and the fixture's good too. I'm going to kill that cat. I actually won't kill that cat, but you know what I mean? She's so annoying. Sabrina, shut up. Sorry. I'm never having a cat again. Once she's done, she's done. I can't do that. Why are you always meowing when I'm trying to stream? 81 for Peter Wright, pretty sure. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I didn't think of any of the DPP picks for your defenders, but you can bring in one for the rest of the season. Clark for sure. Rookie coach, not even a question for me. I've got Clark, so I actually forgot about facilitating defenders because they can't now because Sheasel's already played, so I can't swing him into midfield. Is there more logic to keep Davison over Clarry? Yeah, probably, but you could probably trade out both as well because Clarry, reading an article doesn't look positive, but it'd be annoying if you sort of, not annoying, but annoying for our super coach if he came back next week. So, yeah, okay, let's have a look. I can't believe there's 30 people on. Has everyone finished work early or something for the day? Let's have a look at that suggestion. Tom Green's got 84, so his break even will be quite high. Again, my apologies for the first couple minutes of this video, and then the upload of the video before didn't even work at all. It's just no idea what's going on there. 131 break even. I looked at Tom Green and Matt Rao actually recently, about a month or not even ago, and they've kind of failed. Like, he needs a lot of ball to get a high score, and he hasn't shown the ceiling that I would have thought you'd get from some of these games as well. So a little bit confusion for this one. I don't know if rookie coach still watching, but yeah, 38 touches for a 117, and then what's this? Yeah, I don't know. He just needs a high amount of it. Doesn't really score many goals. It's actually not bad for a midfielder, I suppose. 4 goals. in 7 games. It's 0.5 almost. I don't know. I just don't know. Tom Green is he a VC and C option? I guess is the other question. Like I can think of a lot of other players better than a Green now that I'm sort of got a little bit more sample size on Green. A little bit hard. I don't think Tom Green's the guy. I like his run home draw. Let me have a look at that. Actually, I did not see this second comment. I'd wait for him to come down in price. Like he's got that huge break even now. He might even come down to 550 in a few weeks. So his run you're talking about. Also, when we talk about runs, the runs are so different for each line. Like a run for an inside midfielder is different for a run for a kick-in taker, etc. So when we talk about runs and fixtures, sometimes we've got to be more specific in what run we're talking about because the run might be good for the team in general, but for inside midfielders, how does it match up? Now you're talking about his run. Probably after the Carlton game would be your target, although you're doing this over the buys. Does he get attention? Jordan probably too small. O'Connor and Atkins potentially go to him. But then after that, after round 11, he looks good actually. Carlton, Richmond, Port, Brisbane, Gold Coast, West Coast. Yep. Yeah. He's almost after his buy, actually. His buy's around 16. Then he's got West Coast, Geelong, Essendon, Sydney, Dogs, North. After his buy is when I'd target a Tom Green type. Excuse me. I'm going to go soon, but I just thought I'd just brainstorm a little bit. I don't know what was going on with my mic. I cost myself day cost by swinging Shees onto the mids. Oh, the weak trainer got sub, meaning I had to bring in a defender. Couldn't swing him back to defence the week after. I had no space for Nick. Yeah, you sort of lock yourself out this week, then trade out Davison the next week, I mean. Yeah, you could definitely do that. Send me your site on Twitter again. I've forgotten what your site looks like. And I'll have a look at it. Give us a like for the stream. I know I had to let you guys down the first 3 minutes for no mic or nothing, but whatever. Rookie coach, I'm bringing in Clark next week. I like Clark as a pick. St Kilda and Fremantle players have the good buy as well. Nick Dacos, Glazen. I hear Liam Jones will miss a few weeks. Sounds like we've got it nailed on the down trade next week. Yeah, so Buslinger, I'm waiting 1 week for him. I like Hurst wait over him this week and then Bus probably next week. Worth just boosting Clarry to Petrarca. Yeah, probably. Like if you read the article for Clarry, I don't want to be the reason why people all trade him out and then he comes back next week or something crazy. But the article doesn't look great. I think for Petrarca, it's either this week or you wait and you sort of antipod for a little bit. But against West Coast, he could go well. I just don't like his fixture in a couple of weeks' time. That's all. For Petrarca, like he's only shown one big game, and that was against Tigers. So, like he's the best of the bunch, but the forwards we're getting are all awful. Like I'd rather Rankin or Horn Francis over any of those guys. Was your cat trying to have a look at Heaney? I can have a look at Heaney. Again, I haven't really looked at Heaney just because his ceilings and floors haven't been there. Like he's been able to, if he was getting forward status, I'd be looking at him over any of these guys I've talked about, to be fair. But again, Heaney's a little bit meh, how you going sort of pick for me. I just don't think he's top 10 and 12 range either from here on out. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd go Heaney. Fixture's good though after the Giants. Giants are tough for an inside mid matchup. I know that. But after that, it opens up, doesn't it? Yeah, Sydney's fixture looks great. So for those that held Roberts and still got Bice, he's got Essendon, Carlton, Melbourne, Adelaide, Richmond. Wow. That's actually a great shout. My apologies for almost dismissing that one, but purely based on fixture, that's incredible. It's probably the nicest fixture I've seen actually for a primo. Essendon, Carlton, Melbourne, Adelaide, Richmond. That's a lovely run actually. Good shout. If I'm looking at average versus opponent too, I take this into consideration a lot. So Adelaide, he plays around 12. The others, I thought maybe an Essendon would have been higher than that, but yeah, Heaney's fixture, good shout, good price point. Maybe with that fixture he is top 10, top 12. Hard to read into, honestly, from here. I still like Neil is a this week buy. Again, a little bit vanilla because every team has him. Sam Walsh probably been slept on as well. Newcomb, I don't know. After seeing that 100 flat against West Coast, and he just looked a little bit, I don't know. You buy a guy for a fixture, and his break even is 93. He plays Richmond. I'm pretty sure he scored 162 against them last time we played them. Oh, then he's got Melbourne as well. He's going to have a field day for the next 2 games. That's why we would have bought him in for the West Coast game, though. Just flat tons, annoying. Points per minute's pretty good, too. Generally, 1.4 is amazing. Anything over 1.1 is pretty good. Yeah, and his next few is pretty decent, too. We know Brisbane don't tag. We saw what Dacos did on Brisbane. So, yeah, another good shout is probably a Newcomb with his fixture. Absolute pod. Rosie is an obvious one. I always forget to talk about players who've already got my side. Clark's another one, obviously. He's perfect. And Zorko, you can wait a week. Like, his break-even's 130. Clark's got a 107. I like Clark. He's, again, Fremantle St Kilda players have the fixture of that buy together. Rosie, I'd advocate too. Again, I've just forgotten players that are in my side. Probably this week, if it wasn't my side in general, I actually like Rosie this week over Clark, just because Clark's break even's 107, Rosie's 94. And Zorko is still going to come down in money. So if you wanted to sideways with Bailey Dales or Zorko, you could in a couple of weeks. But yeah, just food for thought on these sort of players. There's 43 of you in here. This is actually nuts on a Friday afternoon. Okay. Give us a like for the stream. Supercoach God got Rankin, Horn Francis, McRae, Daniel Baz. He's in my midfield, but he'll be forward once they get rid of Marek. Yeah, well, then you'll laugh, and I'd probably do that then if that's the case. Reply to your last tweet. I'll check that tonight. Today before work. I got to go shortly. F6. What's Henny's BE? Oh no. God damn it. I think it was 100 and something actually, on 119 or something. I got to go shortly too. Got to spend time with a little fella. I just went to the gym. 92. Sorry, not 92. 112. My gosh. I think there's something wrong with me today. Your cat knows his super coach. My cat just doesn't shut up. Bring me cat here. This is the cat that keeps bloody meowing on stream and just annoying the hell out of me all the time. Think I calculated I have 1.9 mil after next week trades. If I put Daniel, so I might be able to put double upgrade. A double upgrade would actually be really nice, but I'd prefer to go 1 up, 1 down every week rather than double downgrade or double upgrade, just for cash gen. Like, I'd rather go up 1 up, 1 down every week than do a double down or a double up. Please put emergency on Boyd. That's stressing me out. Okay. Oh, God. Well, I can't. I'm in with trades at the moment. Don't worry, he'll be emergency. Not that I'll need him for Conning or Gorney, but yeah. Also, I've actually got my I'll put in my link. I want to show you guys something while we're on stream. You wouldn't believe it would be crazy, obviously. I've got the Great Ocean Road run for Beyond Blue, and look at the name I've put on my badge. I might have to get rid of my screen so you can see it. But Oh my gosh, why can't nothing work today? No, you can't see it. I'll just tell you. I put Batman there, Batman, as my little, what do you call it? Um, my running thing that's on your chest. I've literally wrote Batman instead of Brad or Supercoach Pro or anything like that. So that 6 kilometer run is going to kill me in a couple of weeks, but should be a good run. I showed the missus the Batman tag too, and she was like, you're something different." So yeah, Heaney next week, I'd say, mate. By the looks of it, for me, if I'm not trying to overthink everything, to be fair, like Ashcroft's still got a bit of money to make. So if I leave him there, I don't really want to be fielding a Clarry or a Stewart as much as I do want to get rid of Ashcroft, and he could probably make a little bit more money. So if I get rid of Deadwood first, it probably makes more sense. So getting rid of the Henderson, cancel these trades. So by getting rid of Deadwood and then just putting Petrarca there and just not worrying about my forward line for the rest of the season is probably the ideal scenario. But yeah, I don't know. I wish I could grab Dacos, but it looks like I won't be able to. But for those wanting to move on Deadwood and you can't do Clarry to a guy you want in one trade, because the cash gen is so dire for 90% of our sides. I'm saying 90% of the sides, but my cash gen is actually pretty good. But still, I just hate having dead rookies in general. So if you wanted to do a dead rookie and a player, it probably makes more sense than Davison or something like that. Again, team dependent, but probably if I stop overthinking, again, like you just hope Petrarca looks as good as he did against Richmond, because that 130 or 129 or whatever the hell it was against Richmond, he's not going to play Richmond every week. So don't be surprised if after the West Coast game he goes back to 90s and you're kicking yourself. But at least he's a keeper in that line for that price point as well. Like, that's the thing about Petrarca is, he's a keeper. You're not going to have to muck around with him. There's so much upside with the pick. We've seen he can average 110 in previous years. So you overthink these players. Again, Jordan Dawson's a player I've considered, but then I'm like, do I want Dawson at M8? Do I really want Dawson at M8? Because he'd be frustrating own. Like, I know Cheese is dealing with Dawson, and he hates him more than most, like, as a super coach pick. I've got Dawson in draft, so I also been keeping an eye on him. 515k sucks. Honestly, I know that sounds really weird, but if I had 520k, I'd actually go and take a punt on Hayden Young. He's on 0.2% of sides. He's one I've highly considered. The only way I could do the Hayden Young shout, because he's getting increased CBAs as well with Hayden Young, but I'd have to, instead of going Hurst, I'd have to go Boxshall. He'd be an absolute pod. Like, if he could get forward status, because he's playing a lot forward, and then they throw him back a fair bit, he would be such a bit of a smoky. This is like, I know Crazy Frogs, if you're still watching, this is a guy, if I had an extra 6k, I'd probably go him. Now, his break even is quite high anyway, 121, but if some realm, if I knew what his split was between forward and defence and whatever, and he was getting DBP, I'd probably go there. He's got the buy, the Freo and St Kilda buy. Look, his money's not amazing. His price hasn't been amazing, but you got to remember, he come back from injury. His points per minute have increased significantly last week against Adelaide. I know it's only 103. If he can get his game time up that 97 mark again, he'd probably be scoring a lot higher than what he is. But I really like Hayden Young. It's probably a weird shout too, but he could be almost 500k next week. He's one I'd consider, especially if we know if he was getting DPP status. I've looked into that for sure. Again, around the price points, Dunkley's still got a high break even. Taranto wouldn't go near Taranto. Will Ashcroft, his break even is 150, but I don't think he's a keeper. Rory Laird, Cripps, I've looked at. Flanders, if he could produce something, that'd be nice. Steele's weird for 107. Like, he's 478. This guy could be 440k next week for Jack Steele, but I just don't know what's wrong with him. Like, he could literally be. So if he drops an 80, you wouldn't look at him anyway, just because the form's not there. But keep an eye on Steele, just as a bit of a smoky. I'd almost rather him than a Dawson. I just don't know what's wrong with him this season. He just looks off. He's only about 50 grand off Rivers. If you're still watching Crazy Frogs, I'd rather this almost. I don't know what the hell happened with this 46, but I'm pretty sure if you look at the summary notes for these players, it actually explains in that game specifically that he had a knee issue. I think maybe this was the game. I don't know, but there's something wrong with Jack Steele's knee. But if he could turn it around, he would be an absolute shout for 400 and something K. Other than that, if we're not overthinking, we're probably just going Petrarca or Chad Warner, depending which roller coaster you'd rather ride. I think, I don't know, I've been saying this a lot. I think just Petrarca's floor is a lot better than Warner, and it depends how many roller coaster players you've got in your side for you to bring in a player like that as well. And then you got to also remember, once you pick one of those players, does it leave you out of a Rankin? Does it leave you out of a Horn Francis, etc.? If it locks you out of a Rankin or a Horn Francis, I probably wouldn't advocate for it. As I say, I'd rather a Horn Francis and Rankin over Petrarca and Warner. And if I had to order them, I'd probably go for Horn Francis, Rankin, Petrarca, Warner, to summarise that. You can't get them all right too. Like, we're just hoping we see Petrarca of old. We're probably not going to get anywhere near it. I've got to go. I've really got to go now. But yeah, there's not much more to pick. You couldn't go a Manor. I think that's too pod-like if you got the coin. I know he scored well the last couple of weeks. Chad Warner, Bedford tag this week. If you didn't have Bedford, I'd probably bring him over Petrarca. But the Bedford tag, he might even come down more in price as well. So I'll probably answer a few more questions and leave it there, and I've got to go. Oh my God, you've gone nuts. There's a bash in here. I'll go through these, and I've really got to spend time with my boy before I go. What do we got, Supercoach God? I've done Pryor, Ashcroft, Clarry, to Hurstwaite, Marshall. I like Marshall pick. Be my flex at the end of the year. Currently R2. Yep, and track. I like those. I'd take those off. See how I go, but probably going Davis and Levi next week to Heaney, Sinclair. I like that. And potentially Bo Allen. Yep, I don't mind that at all. But yeah, Bo Allen, like you said, he's a bit of a West Coast mini. Is a little bit hot and cold with those rookies. Keep in mind, I have to get rid of Ashcroft to do these trades. Yeah, that's fine, God. I think you're making upgrades. Aqua, put myself clean out of boost. Yeah, so did I. I've only got 10 rookies on the bench a week. Yeah, so that's the good thing about your side, though. At least by using your boost, you've got no dead rookies. Erasmus is the best player in the waffle. Yeah, I don't think I could bring in Erasmus type. I think he won't be in the side either. I know he's. We find out the Sunday teams at 5 o'clock today. Levi to ton up this year. Oh my gosh. If that happens, I'm going to keep him. Oh my gosh. Don't even, God. I got rid of him over Trainer. I'm an idiot. Taranto's such a twat. Traded him in for Traw and draft because I had 4 injury-prone players. Oh no. Then scores 110, 140, and 100. But he had 83 weeks in a row before that. That's so annoying. More? Oh, Dylan Moore, 429,000. Yeah, you could probably go there, but just know that your flex will counterbalance those 30s that he will score. He's a good price point. I've looked at Dylan Moore too, actually. Crazy Frogs. Man, you think of some crazy players. Good suggestions, though. Like, they're not bad at all. They're actually very, very unique. Crazy Frogs didn't get many CBAs, even with 2 outs last week. Yeah, that's also true. That's the issue with Moore. Like, he's so huge, and then he can go really, really, really poor. Yeah, you too, mate. I've got to go myself. Fraser for 396k. I don't know if I could do it, especially Traw to play in the side. I don't think if Traw got injured, I'd probably do it. But yeah, too risky at this point of the season. I think for players like Rivers, Traw, you may as well spend 70k more and get your Warner, your Dawson, or those kind of weird players that can do well. So anyway, again, thanks for watching. Sorry about the video prior to this, and I wasn't trying to catfish. It just didn't upload for whatever reason, and then the first 3 minutes because I didn't add myself to stage, didn't come in. So again, I better go. Enjoy your weekend. Hopefully your Supercoach side goes well. Give us a like for the stream, sub if you haven't already, and I'll catch you on the next. Cheers.